my minority attack going. I have 2 pawns. He has 4. And I'm just going to get everything rolling and just... I'm the only one that's dictating play here. And if he can't get his play fast enough, like, he's just done. Like, I'm going to show you why the Kann is good at the amateur level. This is round 2 of the Rockville Quads, and I won my first round, so I'm going to try to win the second one. And I'm playing someone lower rated than me, and he played E4, and I played the Kann, and we played one of the most common variations I see. And despite it being so common, I have a really great win rate with it. So he played D4, I played D5, so this is all normal exchange Kann stuff. It's very, very popular. He plays bishop D3, putting his bishop on the active diagonal, so I can't put my own bishop there. And I can't put my bishop on G4 either. So this is a very common way to play. I play knight C6, developing my knight, attacking D4, and he plays C3, defending his D4 pawn, and once again, not allowing my bishop to develop to G4 or F5. I play knight F6, just developing, and he plays bishop F4. So once again, he doesn't want to put his knight out to F3 because then I'd pin his knight to his queen. So he waits for me to either shut the door on my bishop myself, or play bishop G4 like I do in the game, and he moves his queen. So no pin at all. So he doesn't get pinned at all. And he's attacking my B7 pawn. I play queen D7 to defend it. He plays knight D2. So then he can play knight GF3 because if he played knight F3 immediately, I would double his pawns, and he doesn't want that. So he plays knight D2 first. And then I play E6, just opening up the door for my bishop. And he plays knight F3. And I play bishop D6, developing my bishop, attacking his. So we trade. And he could take this pawn if he wanted to, but I get nice counterplay on the B file. So after queen A6, I could castle. And if he castles, I play rook A6. And if the queen goes to A3, for example, defending his B2 pawn, I could take. And I have a very easy game attacking these 2 pawns. So it's not bad at all. Not bad for black at all. So he doesn't take the pawn. He just castles, and I castle. And he plays rook Fe1. And in these positions, I like to take and then play queen C7 so that I can meet knight E5 with taking on E5. And after the rook takes, we have reached a position that I have gotten many, many, many times. I guess they don't always play knight E5 this early, but just this position. I've gotten this position so many times in online games and over the board games. It's move 13. Everyone knows these moves. Everyone knows these moves. But still, I have a really great win rate. The last over the board game I played this in, I think I did lose. I think my opponent, he actually went rook A E1, I think. But he still went knight E5 in that game. And that was a crazy 5-hour long game. That was tough. That was tough, man. That was a tough game. I did end up losing that one, but I do have a really great win rate with it in general. Okay, so he plays knight E5, and the whole idea of queen C7 was that, like, let's say I played like A6, for example, and knight E5, I cannot take with the knight because of the fork. The pawn defended by the rook here, so that's why queen C7 is played, so it enables me to take on E5. He takes with the rook, and I play rook B8. Note that H4 would be a losing move because of knight G4 attacking the rook, and if the rook moves, let's say to H5 for example, I can go check, and then G6, and firstly the rook is trapped, and then secondly I have queen H1 check. That's a threat because of the king E2, the rook on A1 is hanging. So this is very much bad news bears for him. So he does not play H4. He actually sees that idea of knight G4, and the rook is pinned to the H2 pawn. So that's why he plays rook A E1. So he just doubles up on the open file, which seems logical enough, but already I think he's slightly worse. I was like, you have to be so careful as white. Because in a position like this, like your pawn structure is leading towards the king side. You have a bishop pointed here. You have to generate an attack. The onus is on white to make something happen. Because if white doesn't do anything, I'm going to get my minority attack going. I have 2 pawns. He has 4. And I'm just going to get everything rolling and just... I'm the only one that's dictating play here. And if he can't get his play fast enough, like, he's just done. Like, that's how it feels like. And in this game, that's exactly what happened. So he doubles up rooks, but now I get my queenside pawns rolling with the move b5. He plays a3 because let's say if he did play a move like h3, for example, I definitely might consider playing b4, temporarily sacrifice the pawn to double up his pawns. But I honestly might have waited. I might have gone rook f8 first and then b4. Or I'm not 100% sure what I would have done if he hadn't played a3. But he does play a3, stopping my pawn from moving forward because there's a lot of defenders on it now. And I play g6. Of course, he cannot take the pawn because... his bishop is pinned to his queen, so a6 would just be winning for me. And then also... Whoa. Also, I wasn't sure about a move a5, because that just felt like it blundered a pawn. Because now I can't play a6 because my pawn's already on a5. So I was like, that might be okay, but why should I play this? so I decided to play g6. And it's a useful move that I want to play in a lot of positions anyways. Because, I mean, just look, I have all my pawns on light squares, and he has a light square bishop. So that's usually good positional play. And it feels like only black can be better because my knight can hop around on the light and dark squares. His light square bishop can only hit the light squares. So definitely feels like black's doing pretty good, especially since I already have my queenside pawns rolling. And what pawn breaks does he have? Like, that's what I think about in a position like this. Like how can one side dictate the play with pawns? Because he's got his rooks the most active it can be. This bishop is the most active it can be. This queen could be better placed maybe, but it's not super obvious. So what does that mean? That means you have to start playing with your pawns. In this case, f4, f5 is maybe an idea, or h4, h5. There's c4. Well, not c4 anymore, not after b5. And there's a4. And like thematically, like because you have a pawn chain pointing towards the king side, and you have your pieces on the king side, you want to pawn break on the king side and try to loosen up black's king. But in the position that's really hard to do. So that's why black is just better here, because I have a very clear plan. I eventually want to play a5 and b4 and target your weak pawns. That's just the idea. Okay, so after g6, he makes a bit of a weird move, queen d1. I say that's weird because the queen right now is the only thing, the queen and bishop here is the only thing preventing me from going a5. But with the queen gone, now I can play a5 immediately because now there's only one attacker on this b5 pawn. So I don't have to worry about him taking it. Then he plays queen e2. So now he's attacking the b5 pawn, but now I play b4. And he takes once, and I thought he was going to play the move a4 and give himself a protected passed pawn. But actually, if he did play a4, I'd probably play b3, making sure that his pawns are never holding hands. So then now this a4 pawn is really weak. This b2 pawn is still could be very weak. And this d4 pawn is also weak. So it definitely feels like I'm like borderline winning here. But who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. At the very end of this video, I'll be using the game review, going through the game review. So we'll see where the gaps are between what my thoughts were and what the computer thoughts were. And maybe we'll both learn something along the way. Okay, but I take back with my a pawn, and he decides to just go queen f3. So I just kind of want to instant rewind and look at the progress each side has made. I moved my pawn forward. He moved his pawn. I moved my queenside pawn. Well, no, I played g6 first, just safeguarding my king. And then these next 4 or 5 moves here is just very Like, my play was so easy. Like, I'm not doing anything fancy. It's just I had a very clear plan, which was to expand on the queen side and make him and create pawn weaknesses. And once you understand that, like, the character card is very, very easy. Very, very easy. And he made a retreating move. I moved the pawn. He made not a retreating move. What's the opposite of retreating? An advancing move. Move my pawn. I move my pawn, and I safeguard my knight. My knight was hanging. So he attacked my knight, so I protected it. And then I move my pawn. And, like, he had made very little progress at all. While in the meantime, I've, like, moved everything forward. Like, very, very simple play. And that's why the character card is very popular at the amateur level, and that's why it's very good. And that's why I still play it. I have a very, like I said earlier, like, everyone knows these 13 moves. Like, everyone knows these 13 moves. Like, it's just, like, it's annoying in that way. That being said, though, I feel like I always get good positions. Yeah, like, and that's just the power of this opening. Like, people can still know a lot, but still screw it up. And I see it a lot in class players. So, that's why I play this opening. Okay, so he wastes a lot of moves, and then I end up taking on a3, and now he has these two isolated pawns. Even if I win one of them, this position might... theoretically, he could do a really good job of holding in this position, and it might, like, winning one of these pawns might not be good enough. But if I have a choice to be up a pawn versus not being a pawn, I'm going to always choose be up a pawn. And already in this position, wait, let me check out what the time situation was like. So I had, at this point, yeah, I had 51 minutes. We started with 55 minutes for each side. I had 51 minutes here. So I was blitzing out everything because, like I said, all my moves were easy to find. And he had like 30 minutes, 22 minutes. And like I said, I was making every move instantly. So both these pawns are undefended, and in this position I can attack both of them at the same time. Note that if this king was on g8 and this pawn was on g7, then bishop takes h7 check would win my queen on c3. But in this case, the bishop is only hitting pawns, and my king is on a dark square. But that's just like the discovered check pattern that you should be aware of. And here, I wasn't sure what to expect what he would do. Like, for example, if we push the pawn to a4, I could move my rook to attack it. Or I could double up and attack his queen, or attack this bishop on d3. Like, I was like, ooh, that might not be bad. I even thought here that, like you should try a weird move, like bishop e4, and if I take, he can take back with the bishop. But in this case, I can just take on e4 with my knight. And so, point is, this position is lost. Not lost, but he's losing a pawn no matter what. I thought he might try rook d1 with the idea that if I take this pawn, then he has like a discovered attack. But in this case, the rook is only defended by this bishop on c2, so he can't like take on g7, for example, because I just take and checkmate him. This is very, very tough to play. And like, he's down to 22 minutes already. I have 50 minutes. And he ends up playing rook a2 when I take on e1 and he resigns. So yeah, definitely a very silly mistake. But he was feeling the heat. And I don't blame him. I would say most 1700s don't hang a rook out of nowhere. But it's a very tough position to play already. Like, that's the tough part. And like, your rooks are stuck. Like, legitimately. Like I said, rook d1, that's kind of like the only square you can move your rook to. Like, legitimately. That's just very tough to play. But yeah, I think I played a relatively perfect game. Um, like I said, very, very simple. Kann's very, very simple, and it's very, very powerful at the amateur level, and that's why I play it.